Hi everyone, welcome to another short episode. Today I'm going to be talking about how to go from sketch to runway. My name is Becky and I'm a fashion graduate, and in this video we're going to talk about how a simple drawing can go into a final garment ready for the runway. Let's begin with your sketch. Getting your ideas onto paper is the key thing to begin with. Let me show you an example I did for a client. You really want to understand your design and know how you want every aspect to look. Don't be afraid to make a few drawings of your design and develop it so that you're really happy with it. If you are designing for a client, then this may take a little bit longer, as you'll need to check that they too are happy with the design. You may need to make a few adjustments to the sketches before you finalise it. Don't forget to include practical aspects such as how does the garment go on and off? Do I need a zip? What fabrics will be used and what size does it need to be in? Although sketches are great for first impressions of what you're going to make, they have a great sense of style and also create a sense of mood to what you're designing. I would also recommend making a technical drawing, for example, something like this, as it really shows every aspect to your design and it also displays it very clearly. Step 2, fabrics. Now that you're happy with your sketch, I would recommend getting some samples before you buy your final fabric. Think about what components you may need as well. Don't forget to consider elements such as the lining in case you are using this for your final design. Keeping a swatch book is always a handy way to keep hold of the samples you have bought. Then you can always refer back to them. After you order your samples, decide what fabric or fabrics you want to use and make a list of components you will need, such as any buttons or zips. If you are designing for someone else, then providing them with samples is a great way to make sure you are both happy with how the final piece will be. Step 3, patterns. So you have your idea and sketches. Now you just need to translate your drawings into a physical garment. For this, we need to create a pattern. Drafting this from a block is a great way to do this. If you are like me and went to university to study fashion, you can trace out the blocks they have at uni to make your own copies at home, or you can buy them online. If pattern cutting is something you are unsure about, you could either teach yourself with online tutorials, enroll on a course, or even outsource a freelance pattern cutter. Step 4, twirling. Once you've made your patterns, you can then begin to twirl your design. I definitely recommend doing this, that way you can sample areas you aren't too sure on and get an idea of how your design will look on the mannequin. Using the cheaper fabric to twirl in is definitely a good idea. Try to use something similar to the final fabrics you're going to use. That way you can get an idea of how it's going to look and also save yourself some money. Making a twirl mock-up of your final piece is a great way to make sure that the garment is manufactured correctly and also fits right. You can also make any adjustments to this twirl as well. A good tip is to write down your construction method as you go along. That way when you make your final garment, you can refer back to this. Here is an example of a twirl from my sketch. Using a cheaper fabric, calico cotton, and a thin satin, I was able to make sure my pattern pieces were correct and that I was happy with the sizing and measurements. Step 5, fitting. Using a mannequin, you can put your twirl on the stand and see how it looks. If designing for a client, you could have a fitting with them and they could try on the twirl. That way you can make sure that it fits perfectly, and if you need to make any adjustments, you can do this to your twirl and to your patterns. Step 6, final making. Once you're happy with your twirl and your patterns, then it's time to grab your fabric and get making. Remember to take your time and refer back to any notes you may have made during your twirling process. Don't forget about your finishings such as overlocking or putting the lining in. When you finish your garment, it's now runway ready. Be proud of what you've achieved and make sure to show it off. Thank you for watching this video on Sketch to Runway. I hope you all enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the like button and click subscribe.